Okay, today I want to build off a bit from last video in terms of giving you guys extra clarification, extra elaboration on the points I made last video, in terms of, how to create your dream meal plan, how to make your foods taste better. Basically, I'm going to give you guys my meal plan, or a meal plan that, you can use or anyone can use, and basically put everything I talked about last video into perspective, into a visible, action, easily digestible, easy to follow meal plan, and sort of just explain a bit about it, why I chose a specific meal plan, meal frequency, why I eat this food with this food, how I structure my meals, and just give you guys, fill in the gaps that I maybe have missed last video, and just make it even more clear as to what this dream, flexible, ideal meal plan will look for you, will look like for you, and looks like for me. So let's get into it. So first of all, you need to be able to track your calories, track your macros, eat foods you like, foods that provide adequate nutrition, and follow a schedule that you like. This is what your diet needs to adhere to, these list of variables. And by now, you may have a lot of knowledge on how to do that. You may have a meal plan which does that. But if you don't have all of these, then your meal plan won't work. But if you do have these, you are literally guaranteed to see results, okay? Again, you don't have to eat the same foods every day, which I'll talk about today in this video, and I'll show you how that is the case. You decide what variety that you want to explore, right? You want to maybe have three favorite breakfasts, right? On one day you eat this, second day you eat that, next day you eat that, or you may have three different dinners. But most people, like me, you don't really, if you think about it, like that much diversity. You kind of, would like eating the same foods every day if you had the choice, right? Or at least similar foods every day. You don't really like everything. You have certain foods that you eat every day, and you're satisfied with eating those foods, which is good because that makes getting in shape much easier. You may skip breakfast on the weekends, whatever, but you just need to do this, okay? You need to calculate your calories and macros, choose how many meals you want to eat, choose what to eat and drink, and choose when and how much to eat and drink, which is what I'll go over in this video. A bit different to last video. So here is a, table, which is, again, building off what I talked about last video, putting into perspective what to do if you want to cut, what to do if you want to lean gain, what to do if you want to main gain, depending on your exercise intensity and frequency. So if you don't exercise and you want to cut, you multiply your body weight in pounds by 8 every day, and you eat that many calories each day. If you want to lean gain and you don't exercise, you shouldn't be lean gaining. If you want to main gain and you don't exercise, then you need to times your body weight by 12 each day. Okay, and just go through this table, and whatever applies to you. This is just again providing extra clarification on the points I made last video. If you're lightly active, calculate times your body weight by 10 calories per pound each day. If you want to cut, lean gain, main gain, etc. So yeah, whatever bracket you fall under, just adhere to this table. If you're sedentary, that's little to no exercise. As I mentioned earlier, you're lightly active is 1 to 4 hours of exercise. 1 to maybe 4 days in the gym. You're moderately active, that's 5 to 8 hours of exercise per week, which may be 5 days in the gym plus 3 hours of cardio a week. And if you're highly active, that's 9 or more hours of exercise per week. So again, cross-reference this list with this table, and whatever bracket you fall under, that's what you need to make a note of. Now, when it comes to, again, protein, carbs, and fat, let me just reiterate what I mentioned last video. 1 to 1.2 grams per pound body weight. Okay, if you're obviously obese, 0.6 to 0.8 grams per pound body weight. That typically comes out to 30 to 40% of daily calories when cutting. When lean gaining, you can stick to 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight per day. The same goes for main gaining, right? That's protein. Carbs can range from 15 to 60% of daily calories per day. The sweet spot for most people, as I mentioned in the last video, is 30 to 40%, which typically comes out to around 0.75 to 2 grams per pound body weight per day. Same goes for lean gaining, same goes for main gaining. It's all the same. Fat, 20 to 55% is the range of daily total calories. I recommend 20 to 30% for people, which comes to around 0.2 to 0.4 grams per pound body weight per day. Again, same goes for lean gaining, same goes for main gaining. So, call to action. This video is going to have a lot of call to actions because you may have watched the last video, you may have not actually acted upon the last video. In which case, I'm reminding you now to grab a pen and paper and write down your calories and your macros. Do that now based on the tables I've just given you. Go back if you need to. Write down which situation applies to you, to your situation, and write the corresponding or your calories and macros accordingly. Please do that now so you can benefit from this video. So, next question you need to ask yourself and answer is, how many meals do you want to eat each day? Meal frequency has no effect on metabolism. It has no effect on fat loss, but it can affect your appetite and your happiness, which by extension can affect the rate of muscle growth, the rate of fat loss, right? So what matters is just hitting your calories and macros day in, day out. The amount of meals you eat does not really matter. You may enjoy 4 to 6 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, plus a snack before lunch and a snack after lunch. You may just enjoy lunch and dinner, so 2 meals a day. You may enjoy breakfast, lunch, and dinner, so 3 meals a day. My advice would be at least 2 meals a day. 3 is better than 2. And 1 meal a day is not optimal for muscle growth based on extensive amounts of literature, okay? So at least 2 meals a day if you can. 3 is better. If you wake up starving, eat breakfast, okay? You shouldn't skip breakfast if you wake up starving, right? If you only get hungry at lunchtime and dinner, then just wait till lunchtime, okay? And have a big lunch and a big dinner and skip breakfast. If this applies to you and you're not hungry in the morning, then go to the gym in the morning. Have a coffee, a banana maybe, a light snack, 30 minutes before you go to the gym, and then a scoop of protein powder with water after the gym, and then wait until noon to have your first big lunch, right? For example. But my advice also would be, no matter when you're hungry, do not skip dinner, okay? This is important for maximizing muscle protein synthesis. Again, you're going to be in a fasted state for 8 hours when you sleep, so it's good to have a big dinner, and you don't want to get hungry when you're sleeping because it's going to affect your sleep, etc., right? The next question you need to ask is, what are your favorite meals of the day? Do you like breakfast food? Do you like dinners? And then plan your meals accordingly. If you love eggs, bacon, sausages, whatever, then you want to make sure you eat breakfast. If you don't really like breakfast food, then you don't really need to eat breakfast, because why would you want to eat foods that you don't really enjoy eating? If you love steak, not burgers, you shouldn't be eating burgers, or you couldn't. But anyways, if you love steak, for example, then you want to be eating dinner. You want to make sure you're eating dinner. So figure out. I personally, I guess I'm not the biggest fan of breakfast foods. I love lunch and dinner foods, though, for example, okay? And then you need to figure out, how many meals do you have time for? Are you at work all day? For example, I'm working a 9 to 5. I don't really have time to eat 4 to 6 meals a day. I'm probably, if I'm lucky, will get 3 meals a day, but at least 2, right? So what is your schedule? Now, call to action, write down what your schedule is. Write down how many meals you can realistically, honestly fit in a day. Right now, write that down. Next question is, what do you like to eat and drink? Do you like steak, chicken, fish, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, egg whites, tofu, tempeh, protein powder, protein bars? Okay, those are your proteins. Carbs. What are your carbs that you like? What are your healthy fats that you like? What are your treats? Here's my list for my favorite foods. Okay, pork chops, chicken breasts, New York strip steak, grass-fed ground beef, egg whites, protein powder, and Greek yogurt are my go-to protein sources. My carb sources are broccoli, garlic, mushrooms, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, strawberries, blueberries, potatoes, oatmeal, oats, black beans, a bunch of stuff. Healthy fats, olive oil, number one, hands down. 1 spoon of olive oil a day is a staple in my diet. It is the best food for health. It is so good. I've noticed my hormonal health definitely benefits. My energy definitely benefits. My overall mood benefits when I eat olive oil. It's really good. Nut butters, almond butter is a big one. Eggs, whole eggs, the yolk, yogurt, milk, avocado, all that good stuff. And then my treats, my favorite treats, this is my kryptonite right here. Ice cream, pasta, dark chocolate, pastries, and pancakes. Those are my go-to cheat meals, right? My 20% of my diet. But Frankie, what about restaurants? What about alcohol? I go to restaurants frequently. I love to drink. How do I factor that into my diet? Don't worry, I got you. So, restaurants, of course, you can eat out. You can go out to restaurants. Perfectly fine. You don't have to get anxious about that. You don't have to worry about that. But just understand that it makes it harder to control your macros and calories, obviously, because not all restaurants contain the corresponding calories and macros next to the item on the menu, right? Steak, typically at restaurants, will have 150 more calories than if you were to cook it at home because it's soaked in oil and butter. Even vegetables will have more calories at restaurants, okay? So my advice is don't eat out more than once per week when cutting, unless it's at a place where you know how many calories you're eating, you know what the macros are, like Chipotle. And don't eat out more than twice per week when lean bulking or main gaining, because this can lead to overeating, which can lead to fat gain. And lastly, stick to meals that can be measured. Okay, if you're going to a restaurant, don't get a pile of bread, pasta, and desserts, right? Get grilled chicken, broccoli, and potatoes. Get a chicken kale salad. Get salmon, potatoes, and asparagus, because no matter how many unnecessary additional calories that they contain, it's still going to be healthy. It's still going to be a low calorie option. So just don't, if you can, don't go for a pile of bread, pasta, and dessert. So alcohol, right? And other bevs. Funnily enough, our body doesn't process alcohol in the same way it processes food, because it's literally like the equivalent of eating sawdust, for example. Both of them are not digestible. They're not normal foods to consume because they are poisonous. They're not nutritious at all. They're basically, what's the word? Unrecognizable to our immune system, to our body when we consume them. So, funny enough, this means that 400 calories of alcohol will make you less fat than 400 calories of food in a vacuum, right? If you consume 400 calories and if you consume 400 extra calories of food and you consume 400 extra calories of alcohol in a controlled environment, the alcohol won't create as much body fat as the food. But as we know, it has a horrible effect on our fat gain, muscle loss, because it stunts fat burning mechanisms in the body. We don't sleep when we drink. We don't have energy in our workouts. It makes us eat bad food. So it's 100% a net negative, right? And the best data we have, and obviously it's a impediment to your health, right? It's probably the worst thing you can do to your health. So the best data we have is any more than 2 drinks a week exponentially F's up your health. And this is largely not talked about, especially by fitness gurus and health and fitness gurus. So my advice is 1 or 2 drinks per week max if you don't want to mess up your health, your fat loss, your muscle gain. Anything more than this is basically going to make your health and fitness goals, your physique goals, you're not going to reach your potential if you do anything more than this. If you are drinking, if you're a drinker, choose low-calorie options like red wine, Guinness, hard liquor. No heavy beer, no cider, no cocktails. Those are all sugary and high-calorie. If you are a drinker, stick to the low-calorie options. And make sure to include calorie as part of your treats, as part of your 20% treat allotment of your diet. Remember what we talked about? And track your liquid calories, okay? They can still make you fat. Alcohol still makes you fat. Although they're liquids, although your latte, your juices are still liquids, they still are calories, which still can make you fat. So track them. So call to action now. Another thing, I want you to write down your favorite foods. What are your favorite proteins? Is it steak, chicken, fish, protein powder? Your favorite carbs? Is it oats, potatoes, rice, sweet potatoes? What are your favorite healthy fats? Is it olive oil, avocado? What are your favorite treats? Is it cereal, burgers, pizza? What are your favorite restaurant meals? And what are your favorite recipes? And if you need any recipes, make sure to join Club Physique, link in the description, for 300 plus free meal prep recipes. Yes, 300 plus free meal prep recipes, all delicious, all maximizes muscle growth, minimizes fat gain, easy to make, easy to prepare. So make sure you join Club Physique in the description below and get your hands on 300 free meal prep recipes. So Time to build your meal plan. First of all, you need to look up the foods you want to eat. A great website I use is chronometer.com. Has basically every food you can think of. Then you need to go out and buy a food scale and other utensils to weigh out and measure your food. For example, you need utensils to measure out 100 grams of oatmeal, 50 grams of blueberries, and 4 ounces of whole milk. You may want a measuring cup, or you know all those utensils that you need to buy. And then after a few days, you can go by sight. You can eyeball your food because you're used to and you're knowledgeable and you understand how many calories, what are the macros that each of your meal preps contain. Okay. So again, I want to put this into perspective for you guys so that it's easier to understand and digest. Here is my cutting meal plan once I get up to 220 pounds. 2,200 calories, 200 grams of protein, 200 grams of carbs, and 65 grams of fat. Here we go. Here's my protein. So breakfast, I'll have scare and, I'll have it plain. Lunch, I'll have chicken breast, boneless, grilled. My snack at 3 p.m. will be cottage cheese. My snack, again, will be with whey protein with milk or water. And then for dinner, I'll have a sirloin steak. Those are my protein. And as you can see, that accounts for 1,170 calories. 1,030 calories, 170 grams of protein, 22 grams of carbs, and 24 grams of fat. Those are my protein sources. Now, here are all my carb sources that I've outlined for you guys. You can go through this list, but whatever you like from this list, go out and buy it. But I can't, name off all the carbs I eat because they're all here. But these are all amazing, healthy carbohydrate sources. So now this is what it'll look like, to put into perspective for my meal plan once I add my carbs. So with my skyr, I'll have banana. With my chicken breast, I'll have bell pepper, bok choy, onions, and cottage cheese. With my snack whey protein, I'll add in 2 slices of whole wheat bread. With my dinner, with my steak, I'll have asparagus, sweet potato, and tomato. And now my calories are 1,700. My protein is around 200 grams. So I've hit my protein intake pretty much. And my carbs are around 170. My fat is still pretty low at 28 grams. So I have 486 calories remaining, and the rest of my macros remaining there. So my advice is add your carbs until you've reached 80% of your carb goal. So remember how to calculate your carb goal. And once you know your 100% goal, calculate your 80% goal and make sure to allocate nutritious carbs 80% of the time. And then, so you have, you make 20% room for your treats. I'd say have 3 portions of vegetables a day. They're high in, obviously compounds like nitrates, isothiocyanates, potassium, all vital for health. And you can get creative with it. You can have salads, you can have vegetable omelets, you can have fruit and spinach smoothies. You can combine your vegetables and fruits, or combine your protein and vegetables however you want. Okay? But this is what it would look like, to put it in perspective, with the carbs added. Now for fats, I would add almonds. My breakfast, I'll add sesame oil dressing on my salad. On my vegetables. For my snack, I'll add, cottage cheese. For dinner, I'll add nothing really. Sweet potato has a decent amount of fat. So now my calories are around 2,200 grams of protein and 50 grams of fat. And I might switch it up with these other fat sources: olive oil, butter, nut butter, nuts, cheese, milk, eggs, and avocado. But again, this is how I added to my meal plan to show you guys, and to put it into perspective for you guys. And I have 240 calories remaining now. So now I have 240 calories left for my treats in the day. Okay, what do I want to allocate to my treats? Do I want to drink? Do I want to have dessert? Do I want to have white bread? Do I want to have pasta, bagels, pastries? You have to establish how many junk calories you can add to your meal plan, okay? And say I didn't have 240 calories left. Say I only had 100 calories left. Then what I would do, I'd go back to my meal plan and remove those 2 slices of white bread. I'd remove that banana at breakfast, okay? To make 235 more calories extra for treats, if I want more treats, okay? You make the adjustment. If after having calculated all your nutritious 80% of your diet, you only have 100 calories left, You may want to free up more room for treats. Then that's how you do it. Okay. Next, you want to decide what you'd like to eat and drink, and then add treats to your meal plan accordingly. So what have I done? I had 240 calories left, right? So I added 30 grams of dark chocolate at the end of my day at dinner, and I'm within my calorie goal. I have 66 calories remaining. I'm in calorie deficit, and I've included my treats. So that is how this stuff looks like, okay? And I hope this kind of helps you visualize how you would, set up your meal plan, how the carbs, fat, treats, and protein all, go into it. And if you want to copy this, feel free to copy it. It's a great sustainable diet. I'm happy on it. I don't have cravings. My cravings are fulfilled. Muscle growth and maximized, fat gain minimized, or maximized, or fat loss maximized, should I say. And yeah, I just wanted to put it into perspective for you guys, just building off of last video. So now I want to talk a little bit about how to make your food taste good, okay? Number one you can do to make your food taste good is add a bit of salt. Now, we've been sold another myth, which is that sodium is bad for you. It causes high blood pressure. You should not eat any salt, or should avoid sodium at all costs. This is simply wrong. The database of systematic reviews says that there's little evidence for long-term benefit or reducing salt intake. The University of Exeter says that cutting salt intake had no effect on reducing risk of cancer, heart disease, and death in 6,000 people. 6,000 people in this controlled study. They found that cutting salt had no effect of improving their health. In fact, the JAMA Internal Medicine found that it's in fact the opposite. Okay, cutting salt can actually increase bad health markers. Okay, the only problem that sodium pertains to is when people don't match their sodium intake with a sufficient amount of potassium. Okay, if your sodium to potassium ratio is too high, according to Harvard University, then yes, that can lead to problems. Okay, the problems that I've listed above. So the problem isn't sodium consumption, it's a lack of potassium consumption. So you need to make sure, obviously the easiest way to do this is to buy those electrolytes, those LMNTs, what's the other one? IV, liquid IV, and just supplement with potassium, okay? Or just make sure you're eating bananas, avocados, spinach, potatoes, good amounts of potassium, so that you don't have to worry about, salting your food, for example. So if you're getting in you're getting in your electrolytes, your potassium, then make sure you salt every meal you eat. Just a pinch of salt, sprinkle it on top. Your pre-workout meal, this can improve energy, blood flow, pumps, reduce headaches. If that's sometimes you get headaches when you work out, that will get rid of it. And it will make your food taste way better. It will not taste bland. It will give a bit of taste to it, and obviously give you all the benefits that I've just mentioned. Number two is, aside from salting your meals, have a marinade for your chicken, right? Lemon juice, vinegar, paprika, red wine sauce, all those marinades. Marinate your food is a game changer. Makes chicken actually taste amazing rather than taste like cardboard, okay? Another way you can make your food taste better. Spices and seasonings, obviously. You have your cinnamons, your cardamoms, your nutmeg, curry, turmeric for hot foods. For if you want a bit of spice, black pepper, red pepper, cayenne pepper, Tabasco. You want a bit of green flavor, basil, parsley, rosemary. Pungent flavors, garlic powder, depending on what you like, mustard, zesty flavors, ginger, lemon zest, smoky flavors, chipotle, chili powder, bacon, nutty flavors, sesame, pine nuts, pistachios, and sweet flavors. There's obviously sugar, maple syrup, and honey is a great additive to, your Greek yogurt, for example. It's a great carb source for pre-workout, and it's going to make your meals taste better, which is important. What about cheat meals? Okay, extra advice on cheat meals. Don't eat cheat meals more than once or twice a week. Don't surpass your maintenance calories when having a cheat meal, and drink alcohol if that is your cheat meal, okay? If you don't follow this advice, you won't lose fat on your cut, and you'll gain fat on your lean bulk. Why? Because look at this. Bacon cheeseburger, 600 calories per burger. Creamy pasta, 600 calories per cup. French fries, 500 calories per large serving. Pizza, 500 calories per slice. Loaded nachos, 1,600 calories per plate. Cheesecake, 400 calories per slice. Obviously, it's so easy to overeat when you have cheat meals. You're, oh, this is just a cheat meal. But no, it's actually a lot of calories. So you want to make sure you're only sticking at maintenance calories when having a cheat meal, would be my advice, okay? And if you want to be on the safer side, when you look at your meal plan, just remove all the nutritious carbs and just prioritize protein. So for example, if your meal plan is a homemade cheeseburger and it's a cheat day, you're going to have a cheat meal, then make that change that to a lettuce wrapped burger with no wedges and no butter. Okay? Now you have way more calories to play with for your cheat meal, and you can stick to maintenance calories by doing that. Okay? You may not even want a cheat meal. Okay? This is for only people who enjoy cheat meals and who can control their cheat meals, and it helps them stick to their diet. But if you don't even want one, then don't have one, obviously. Only have one when you feel like, yeah, I'll do a cheat meal today. Now let's talk a little bit about pre and post workout nutrition. Okay, I recommend 30 to 40 grams of protein before working out. It stimulates muscle protein synthesis and it suppresses muscle protein breakdown, which is what occurs during your workout, right? It also provides your body with amino acids needed to build muscle tissue. All simple stuff. 30 to 40 grams of carbs, 30 to 60 minutes before training. I also advise oats, bananas, blueberries, strawberries, sweet potatoes, rice are my go-tos. And, just for energy purposes, to fill up your glycogen stores, strength purposes, pump purposes. And then obviously after your workouts, it doesn't really matter. There's no anabolic window, but just make sure, I'd say within an hour maybe, get in another 30 to 40 grams of protein after your workouts to get the essential amino acid leucine, which is responsible for stimulating muscle protein synthesis, which is responsible for muscle growth. And, would be a good idea, I'd say as well, I didn't mention it here, but get another 30 to 40 grams of carbs with that as well as your post-workout meal. This will both stimulate insulin production, which obviously correlates to less muscle protein breakdown and maximal muscle growth. Pretty simple stuff there. To wrap up, I just want to, repeat what I've said in this video. Don't eat out more than once per week when cutting, more than twice per week when lean bulking. Don't have more than 2 servings of alcohol per week. You may think this is insane, but if you do, you are just destroying your body, destroying your goals. From a scientific perspective, don't have any bias against alcohol. I personally, I do drink. Obviously, I don't drink a lot, but I barely drink anymore because I've understood how bad it is for you, and I just don't really enjoy it anyways. But just bear that in mind, that yes, alcohol is poison and it is really bad for you. Just remember that. You may not, think it's not as bad as a cheesecake, for example, or ice cream, but it's way worse. Okay, just remember that. That's all. And consider a treat. Like, make sure you account for it in your 20% treat allocation when creating your meal plan. And also that goes for sugary lattes and juices as well. When creating your meal plan, make sure to add your protein first, then your carbs, then your fats, and then your treats in that order. 1 or 2 cheat meals per week max. Don't surpass your maintenance calories on the day in which you eat your cheat meals, and don't get hammered if you are going to drink for your cheat meals, because then you've just ruined you've probably just ate 1,000 calories of alcohol, or drank 1,000 calories of alcohol rather. 30 to 40 grams of protein, 30 to 40 grams of carbs before training and after training. And eating fat before or after a workout doesn't really make a difference to muscle protein synthesis or energy in your workouts, so don't worry about that. And yeah, that's going to be a wrap on this video. I thought I would just give you guys an extra bit of clarification and perspective on what I was talking about last video. Hope this helps and hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.